Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, YouTubers. I'm so glad you tuned into the channel. This is Joe Brown here at Financial Wellness University. If you are a subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe so that you can get relevant content to make your life better financially. And hit that like button so more people will see this video. Hit that little bell so that you will be notified when new videos become available. And I want to talk about three investments that you should be considering for 2022. Three investments. This is not financial, legal, or tax advice. This is educational and just informational purposes. But hey, it's something to consider. So if that sounds like something you want to learn more about, stay tuned. Three investments that you should be considering for 2022. Make your new year happy. Don't just let your new year happen to you, but make something happen. And investments are one way to do that. And now, the three investments I want to highlight, of course, there's always the traditional investments that have been here and have worked time and time again. And one of the ones I'm talking about is one of those traditional investments, but not a lot of people highlight or even talk about. But the two traditional ones that I'm not going to even talk in detail about, of course, are real estate. You know, that's still one of the best ways to get wealthy in America and in any other part of the world is through investment in real estate. And of course, the stock market through, ETFs and mutual funds and index funds and things of that nature. So you're investing in the economy, you're investing in businesses. But the three that I wanted to highlight in terms of investments are precious metals. Precious metals, that's one that's been around for a long, gold and silver, among the two most popular precious metals have been a part of stories, for ancient stories about gold and silver, and probably one of the first currencies made with precious metals was silver and gold. So it's been around a long, long time. And the price of these precious metals, the going price for 1 ounce of these precious metals is called the spot price. If you look in your search engine or you look on the news, you see spot price for a particular precious metal. What are the traditional precious metals that are being sold? There's gold, the big one. There's silver. There's platinum, which a lot of people, you see platinum a lot in jewelry. There's palladium and there's rhodium. The last two are not as well known and not as sought after, but of course the first two are definitely the two that people talk about the most, which is gold and silver. And gold right now is selling for around $1,800 an ounce. Give or take a couple of dollars. And silver is selling for about $23 an ounce. Now, this video is being recorded around the beginning of January 2022. So the prices will change and have changed. And that's the whole lore of investing in precious metals, is that it is considered a hedge against inflation, which means prices of normal goods will rise. And over time, the value of these metals will rise, even if the value of paper money, fiat currency, doesn't rise to accommodate these new prices in the market. For example, if you took a gold coin that was produced in, say, 1900, the same things that you can buy during 1900, you can buy today. That's how it hedges against inflation. Because say a gold coin, let's just say it was a $20. Well, $20 what it can buy in 1900. I mean, you could buy a whole lot of stuff. But you try to buy that same amount today, and it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. Therefore, that gold has increased in value, even though a $20 bill back then, you could buy the same amount, but it can't. That $20 bill, let's bring it even current. 10 years ago, $10,000, let's just say 20 years ago, $10,000 could get you through a college year. That same college today, 20, 30 years later, $10,000 wouldn't even get you through one semester. But if you had bought gold 30 years ago, you might see an increase that would accommodate that inflation period, so that you could get more for your money than you would if you were held on to paper dollars, which is fiat currency, which means is just based on the promise that is valuable, but it's no longer backed by real gold. So gold, and think about it, this is a coin size. About 1 ounce of gold is now worth about $1,800. 1 ounce of silver is worth about $23, which means you can do about 70 plus 80 something ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. So right now, even if you can't fork up $1,800 to invest in gold, the average person can afford some silver. They can afford $23, or it's probably going to be a little bit more just for the retailer to make a little profit. Let's just say $30. Who can afford $30? And you hold on to it. Don't buy it if you plan to sell it tomorrow, because it does need some time in order to increase over what the spot price is, say 23, and what it sold for, which say 30. So that's $7. So it has to, the spot price at least has to go up by $7 so that you don't lose money. And that's the thing about most investments. Don't invest anything that you can't afford to lose, but most investments, be willing to hold on. This is not one of those day traders where you buy one day and sell the next day. Silver and gold, precious metals, is not one of those things that you do that unless you're a retailer and you know how to get it. You're in that market where you can get it for very cheaply, and then you have a market to sell it the next day for a profit. But I'm not talking about being a retailer right now. I'm talking about investing in something and holding it and using it as something that in the future it will be worth a lot more. And precious metals is the first one. So gold, silver, consider precious metals. Consider looking into it, because the prices are historically low for what the value really is for it, and you can get in and hold on to it. There's there, and we'll just go real briefly because I don't want to spend a whole video on one, but you can invest in currency. Each country has their own sovereign currency, so you can invest in a current coin that has currency. You can invest in just a bullion, just a solid round, which is just silver or gold, but it's not really currency. It's just somebody press silver or gold into the shape of a coin for the sake of you collecting that one. And then there's, in terms of silver, there's older coins, pre-1965 coins that have some silver content in them. We call it constitutional or junk silver. 50-cent pieces, quarters, dimes. These pre-1965 had 90% of the content was silver. So you might even find some of that in your change. So be careful not to spend money before you look at the date, because you might be, say for instance, a 50-cent piece might be worth about $10, and you just spent it for 50 cents. You just wasted $9. You just threw away $9.50. So look at your current change and see. Start there. Start there, and then get an education about more of the precious metals, and make 2022 a better year by investing in precious metals. The next one I'm going to talk about is something that is here to stay, and that's cryptocurrencies. I know it's a lot of people are leery about it, and it has been volatile, but it has been productive for a lot of people too, where you invested just a little bit and it increased dramatically over a short period of time. I think cryptocurrency has been around for just less than 10 years and has already created many millionaires from investing in cryptocurrency. So it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. Even the government is considering creating their own cryptocurrency, and a lot of retailers are accepting cryptocurrency as a way of payment. So cryptocurrency seems to be here for the long term. And for those who don't, want government involvement and everything, that's another way of getting a little bit more personal security, or getting a little bit more control over your financial destiny that isn't tied to government, control. So cryptocurrency, you should learn more about it. You should learn, hey, if you're not versed in the internet and all those things virtually related, you need to get up to speed, because it definitely is the future of money. And so cryptocurrency, and that's a very important investment that you ought to consider. Like I said, I'm not an investment advisor. I'm just a coach, and I'm just someone who's concerned about seeing you prosper. So talk to your investment professionals and do your research before you make a move. And the last one I want to talk, the last investment is it's been around for a good amount of time, and that's watches. Investing in some people might just classify it into luxury goods like art and other things, but I'm gonna focus on watches. If you have been following any of these watch channels, you know that there's 3 watches that that everyone knows, and their value just continually grows. That is Patek Philippe. That is a international brand that has been around for a long time. And when you get one of those, the value just increases over time. All right, so that's Patek Philippe. Then you got AP, Audemars Piguet. I mean, you'll see the octagonal shape. You know that's the Audemars Piguet. I mean, the price just keeps going up and up. And of course, there's certain models that are more attractive and more known than others, but know the name. And then the third one is Rolex. Rolex. I mean, if you have any three of those, if you invested in three of those, it truly is an investment. Now, this is not an investment for anyone because they are pricey. And, you know, maybe you can get in with 10,000, 15,000 with those or some of those. But we're talking, you know, hundreds of thousands easily for these watches. Or so if you bought it for 50, you know, you could have bought it for 50 last year and it might be selling for 70, 80 already within 1 year. So if you have the funds to invest in something like that, you probably won't go wrong. You know, do your research. Like I said, don't make an investment based on just video, but do your research. And lastly, I like to say just a rule of thumb. I recommend if you have a net worth, let's just say you have $100,000 saved up, and that's not the average person, but just in terms of, just for example's sake, I wouldn't recommend spending more than 10% of your savings, your net worth, on any one thing, investment or not. So what that means, if you have $1 million, don't spend more than 100,000 on any one product. So that means if you have $1 million, you shouldn't go out here and buy a $400,000 Rolls Royce and think you're doing something, because that would be a very unwise purchase in my estimation, in the way I look at the rule of thumb in terms of buying things, because you just spent half your net worth on something that might go down in value. And then I wouldn't spend more than 20% of your net worth in any 1 year. Now, if you use this as a guide, that means if the bulk of your savings is in some secure, rather less risky means, then you're not likely to lose all of your net worth in any 1 year. It'll at least take you 5 years, and that's not likely that you're going to lose year after year unless you haven't learned anything from the previous year. But the ideal is that, say, if you had 10,000, don't spend all of it on one investment. Spend maybe 1,000. Use it. Experiment with that 1,000. See if you can make money with that 1,000, and then in any 1 year, don't spend more than 2,000. Right? That way, you always have something in reserves to pull from. And this is not talking about spending emergency money or tapping into your retirement. I'm talking about money that you have spare, that you can that's basically extra money. Because if you don't use your emergency money for anything but emergencies, and you don't use your retirement for anything but something related to retirement. So you don't liquidate that for, definitely not more than 10% to do something. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Three investments, the traditional ones, real estate and stocks are still on the table. I mean, don't forget about those. But for 2022, I want you to expand your horizons and look at three other investments that might yield some high profits. And that is precious metals, cryptocurrency, and watches, luxury watches. And thank you for watching. If you haven't done so already, please give me a like, subscribe, hit the little bell. You can subscribe right on the screen. There's a little button there. And hit the little bell so you'll be notified when future videos become available. And thank you, and have a great 2022.